Guys, I am back. I have a lot to talk about, and I don't want to take too much of your time up, so let's get started. In the last video I showed you how to baste and sew the corset. So in this one, I'm going to be talking about several things that have been happening and developments in the project. And so here we go. Alright, the first thing is I finally found the fabric for the back, for the train, and I'm so excited. It took me about 30 minutes at Hancock's until finally I looked behind the counter and voila, there it was. Couldn't find it anywhere. Apparently somebody else had gotten some of it and they stuck it behind the counter, and so it took me so long. I was really frustrated. So here it is. Some beautiful fabric. It's just the right color. It's light enough so that you can see through it, and it's really light. It's not like a blue. It's more like a teal. And I'm going to show you the dress with it so that you can see. Here's the dress, and here's the fabric for the back. So it's basically the same color, but it's a whole lot lighter. And then of course you've got the front, which it looks good with this piece too. So anyway, I got, I think about I want to say, let's see, 7 yards of it. That may not seem like a lot for the train, but my train is going to be about 9 foot long. So 7 yards, that's only 3 yards. I think. 3, 6, 9. Yeah, that's about 3 yards. Maybe a little bit more, and I have plenty extra just in case I need it. So there's that. And then I wanted to show you the corset since it is almost done now. Here's the inside of it. You can see I lined it with the same fabric since I had enough, and I stitched this right here. What do you call it? Zigzagged it so that that would keep it tighter. And here is the front, right here. You see the area of it, and I've still got pins in it. And I do not have them sewed together on the bottom yet. I just have the top done. So here's what the bottom looks like still, and I did pin it a little to where it would get that shape to see how that would work, but I haven't completely finished it. And the reason I haven't finished it is because I still need to put a... Hi guys, I'm back. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the corset. Oh, somehow I got mixed up. I think I'm still going. Okay, that took a minute. Anyway, the reason I have not finished this and sewed it together yet is because I have to put another dart right here. And the reason for that is because even though because I made the dress myself, it was slightly too big right here. It went out like this. When it came over, it kind of puckered out. So I put a dart, let me show you that dart real quick. It's right here, and I put a dart right beside the main seam where the bust runs along. And I'm also going to use this dart to measure where to start the train at. So it's going to come from here, it's going to come from here on each side and go all the way around the back. So that's kind of good because I was trying to figure out exactly where to put it, so that helps a lot. Alright, so I've showed you this, and after I do that, then I'm going to turn it inside out, as I told you in the last video. So, all along the bottom, in the shape I want it, then I'm going to pull it back out the right way so it will look great. Here is the hook and eye stuff I was telling you about. So it's kind of like the tape with hooks and eyes in it. And this right here, I could not find anywhere. I got it at a sewing place down around here. So I guess you'll just have to look for it. It's a specialty thing. It wasn't a Hancock's. It wasn't a Joann's. All I could find there was snap tape. Okay, so on to the next level. Now that I've already started showing this, I'm going to show it to you again. This right here is my invisible zipper. Now I had to have my mom help me put the invisible zipper in because it was driving me crazy. So here's where it ends, right about here, and I haven't ironed it yet, but once I iron it, it should get all these puckers out. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to hem it with this right here, and it's, what do you call this lace, Mom? Grosgrain, that's what it is. And the grosgrain, and I can't get it open, the grosgrain has lines, you can see it right here, about lines all the way across it, okay? And this helps it not to fray or anything. And the grosgrain, the last time I used it, it's also got a lot of polyester in it. So if you take a match or something and you just wave it underneath it, it will melt this. So you will not need to do any fancy stitching, and it won't fray at all, okay? So I'm going to take this and I'm going to lay it flat against here. Probably not up all the way, because I want to make sure that it's right about to the 5/8 inch seam. Alright, I'm going to sew it along here, and then I'm going to fold it under and around. So this, instead of doing a big seam, it's going to be like this. This is where it is, the seam will be right here, and this is going to be on the other side. Alright, so this is what I'm going to do instead of a seam, and I'll have to do that for this right here too, because it's the edge of the zipper. But that should take care of the zipper part. Alright, and I'm also going to use this for the hem at the bottom, since it's the same color. That will help me get, you know, sometimes when you've got a curve and a hem and you fold it over twice and then you've got all this bunched fabric, that's what this will help with, because I can curve this slightly like this. I can fold it in as I need to give it a slight twist to it, and then I won't have to worry about all that fabric curving wrong. Okay? Okay, so there's that. And when I get that done, I will put it back up on the on my thing right here, my model, to show you exactly how it looks when it's done. I also had my mom do the darts. I think I showed that already. So she ended up sewing the darts for me. Okay, what's next? Oh, here is the piece that goes on the top. I showed you guys how I did the sparkles, and I wanted to show you the finished product. Now, by finished product, I mean the finish on the top of the dress. I still have to do a little trimming, but this is what it's going to look like. May not be able to get it exactly right, but this right here is basically what it's going to look like. Now I still, as you can see, I still have to sew the arms, sew up at the arms right about there, and then down along the side right here, so that I can put this under my corset. But I sewed it on. Let's see if we can get a close up of this, and it's going to look really good. Now, one of the important things you have to remember if you decide to sew this on like this and use the glitter the way I did, is that you have to use the zipper seam, and when you use it, it rubs off all of the glitter, okay? So when you sew it on at first, and if you're using this, you're going to have to put paper underneath it so it does not stretch or gather, because that's just what this type of fabric does. But when you're sewing it, at first you don't have to worry about it, because you're going to be sewing it, and the zipper foot's going to be running along the opposite side that does not need glitter. That's a good thing, because it takes all that extra glitter off that should not be on that side, and that keeps it nice and flat, and it won't scratch your skin. But when you're doing it on this side, when you're re-sewing it, if you can see that right down here, I re-sewed it to make sure it would stay flat like that. You have to put paper on the top of this. and then you have to kind of like crease it at the edge so that you can see where it's at. It's not really that hard to do, but just make sure you put paper on top of it, because if you do not, all this glitter will come off and you have to redo it. I am probably going to be adding a little bit of glitter right along the edge right here to kind of cover up that first seam that I made, because it's not perfect, but that should not be a problem. And the last thing I wanted to show is when you're using this type of stuff with the piping in it, which gives it that that edge like that, to put it together in the back, you have to kind of like splice it. So you actually have to take a little bit of the stitching out, cut out the piping, and then fold the part that you cut out that's got the fabric but not the piping over the top of the regular piece. Re-sew that before you sew this onto here. So I sewed it up to about 2 inches on both sides, fixed that, and then put that on, just to make sure that I didn't that I would have enough piping. And it's getting pretty long, so I'm going to go to the next video, which I should have up right after this one. So see you in a minute.